Hello, this is the Sparkle Experience Show, and it's the 11th episode. And I'm so delighted to have here with me, joining us today, Minda Turner. And Minda is the wellness and lifestyle mentor. And Minda, I met her several years ago, and she is an amazing woman. She is a powerhouse. She is full of zest and energy for life. She inspires, and she just totally gets people so comfortable instantaneously because you know what? She has a methodology that can help you get rid of allergies, get to feeling good, being happy, and just magnificent. So, Minda, I wonder if I can't do you justice. So, I'd like to invite you to take a few minutes. And by the way, I'm Michele Ho Lung. I am the real Sparkle Diva, the host of the Sparkle Experience Show. And my co-host, Jeremy Gall, joins us when he can. But on this show, we talk about sparkle. We talk about being the CEO of yourself. We talk about having hope when you're hopeless. And I think with Minda's story tonight, as she will share with us, you will see that she is the answer perhaps to your problems. So Minda, go ahead, and if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I really appreciate that because it kind of boosted me to be the happy person again. So I am really honored to be invited to this show, Michele, because that's what my mission is, to share my legacy of teaching what I had experienced both in my personal life and in my clinical practice for over 20 years, seeing people get well for about oh, almost coming out of almost every health issues that were not resolved by doctors. Did you know that the World Health Organization says that over one half of the world population suffers from some kind or some form of an allergy, sensitivity, or intolerance?
I didn't know that, but that sounds to be true. I mean, even when you think about yourself, I mean, even ourselves, we have a little bit of sensitivity to something, right?
And the funny thing is that I have a very good medical insurance. I could almost go to any doctor and not pay anything, both for the doctor's visit and for a long time I suffered a lot of health issues. And that all came out to my daughter committing suicide.
Oh,
I went into deep depression. And when you go and have that emotional um, thing that's keeping you from being alive, you develop a lot of health issues. I didn't know that emotion is almost the root cause of all our illnesses. So we have to actually address the emotion together with the things that we eat, the air we breathe, the relationships we have. Emotion plays a role in that. And after going to so many doctors all around the world, all around the country, every kind of medical whatever they would recommend me to go see. I saw chiropractors, energy healers. I did the massages and all that thing. Nothing helped me until one day somebody told me to go see this one specific person who did allergy elimination. And I'm even scared to tell you that the first thing that I really didn't like about being sick was I had skin disorders. It was all over my face. And that's the first thing people will see is your face.
and I saw that. You showed us a picture once.
Yes. So I went for this treatment. In a, I have a nursing degree and I was very skeptic about it. But at the time, I was willing to do anything else. And I went to see this doctor, gave me a treatment, And the next day, my face was clear. And I said, no, something happened. I didn't believe it. But I said, but I'll take it. I'll take a good face. so so I kept at that. And next thing I did was 30 days later, I went to see her again because it's a series of treatments that she does to completely get rid of the core issue of all my illnesses from head to foot. So 30 days later, I went to see her, and for 26 or more years, I had insomnia. And I would be up three nights and never go to sleep, and I still can function. And after the second treatment, I slept. I mean to say 9 to 5 a.m. And I was amazed. That was the first time that I really slept. And ever since, I have a set time to go to sleep. I get 6 hours of sleep at night. That's what my body needs.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what I do. And that to me was very easy to say something is finally working with me, because for many years, doctors kept giving me, I was a pill popper, let me put it that way.
Oh, okay.
They gave me everything that they could think of. So, and that was what was wearing my body down too and creating other issues, health issues. So I didn't do it again for another 2 months because I'm a skeptic, you know. And the third one, I went to get a treatment 2 months later. I didn't feel any effect. And, but every month I would go there. Every 3 weeks, I would go down, drive 500 miles to go and get a treatment. And after the 10th treatment, I woke up one day. I had no pain in my body, where I was in pain 24/7. I had no pain in my body. And I said, oh my God, that's wonderful, you know. And I was thankful for that, but I didn't attribute it to what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing it to friends, to family, and everything. And they said, what are you doing? And I said, well, let me just duplicate what was done to me. And everybody were feeling good. At the time, I owned a massage clinic, and I practiced on my clients. And pretty soon, I was driving myself out of business. My clients were saying, I am well. I don't have that pain in my knee. I don't have that pain in my back. I don't have the headaches, the migraines, everything else. And it was a thriving clinic. I was always busy. So I said, there's something to this. So I switched on to being a wellness clinic and just did the allergy elimination.
Awesome. So this allergy elimination, what is it based on? Because I think you said to me it's also an energetic healing modality,
Yes,
correct?
it is. Yes, it is. And this was very difficult for me to understand, because energy is something that is around us. Everything around us has energy, and we don't see it. So we don't really understand. But just like it's a frequency, its its thing in this world have a frequency. And when that frequency is introduced into our frequency, there's a repulsion. And that repulsion creates havoc in our system.
So that's what the block is.
So, excuse me. So when it depends on what meridian, that's when the meridians come into play with that. When it gets into our an energy field, it hits one of the meridians. And so now we have to trace where the meridians go. And as you know, the meridians are named after the organ system of the body.
Right. So this is kind of based on the Chinese meridians,
Right,
acupuncture. If
right.
you're doing acupuncture,
Acupuncture.
you would have
That's
an
what I
idea of
was.
what the meridians are that we're talking about here. Because I call my sparkle chi, because chi is all energy. You can't see
Uh-huh.
it, but there's chi. Every one of us has energy all around in us, with every cell has its own chi. And if you go furthermore with the martial arts of Chinese martial arts, they talk about the life force, where that point is. So there
Yes.
is there is this thing within us that keeps us healthy.
Yes, what I call, and the way I had to explain this to my clients. The meridian is the highway system of the body. It's a way
Beautiful.
where the energy goes into the body. And if there's a blockage, it's just like a highway. They have to detour you to other roads, correct?
Right.
So that's the easiest way I could get my clients to understand what the
Mhm.
meridians are. And I go around there and trace where it starts and where it ends. So wherever it is blocked, and when the energy doesn't go through at a certain point, that starts building up into that organ system. And that's where it creates all the health issues we have.
So you see, I talk about it in a slightly different way, because I deal with more, in a sense, to the emotional stuff, the beliefs, the limitations,
Mm-hmm.
and that also impacts some of what allergies are too. Because everything, if you are negative about things, that will fuel some kind of, if you're not letting it go, if you're not releasing that stress or that anger or whatever that could be, it will show up somehow in your body as a symptom of a dis-ease, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it
That's why.
fascinates me what you're doing, because it's a different way of skinning the cat, if you will. You know, it's
Yes, yes,
beautiful.
it really is. But a lot of times when a person is so desperate, like my clients have seen all kinds of doctors, did all kinds of whatever they were recommended to, both the both the traditional medicine and the alternative medicine, and nothing had worked for them until they came to see me. And I started tracing because I do an intensive intake on their health history. And from that on, my mind is already working as to where the blockage
Possibility of
is.
blockers.
Uh-huh. And so when they're saying about a heart disease, I can even say that no, it didn't. It's not the heart that is really stressed, It's
Mhm.
this organ that is
Mhm.
stressed. So we have to unblock this organ to release the stress on the heart you know
Mhm.
so it is becoming like a detective way of trying to diagnose. There are no scientific ways to prove it though, and
Mhm.
the only scientific papers we have to prove what we're doing are for the ADD ADHD kids, because we did an intensive study on those.
Mhm.
But every other thing, like whatever they are suffering from, we can almost always, I say, I go about 90%, um, you know, um, that we can find the real cause and unblock it.
Well, everybody is unique. Yes,
Oh
everybody has
yes,
unique
everybody, nobody has
circumstances.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so typically, how long does it take for someone to notice a result from when you work with them? Because I can imagine it might take a little time.
Yes, it does. But normally, we just doing the basic, which is the basic nutrients that we eat. You see, right now, the food that we eat is affected because the soil that they are grown in do not have enough nutrients. So the body does not recognize all this whatever phytonutrients they call it. It's a more elaborate way to describe the nutrients in whatever we eat or the vitamins we take. So now what we do is we try to get the body to recognize the nutrients of the food that they're eating. And And upon that, we go by the thing like it's the, what is it? The protein, the carbohydrates, and the hydrogen. Those are the basic things that are taken in
Right.
the body. And the most, the I say with my skin disorders, it was the protein. My body was not processing protein properly.
So
And
what was this causing in you?
it was just that my body was not taking enough protein or not processing it
Yeah,
for
but then what for
the body.
your the symptoms that you had was swelling in the face, right? I think.
Swelling the face, rash. It came to scabbing and scaling like a fish
Right. It
across
was
my
itchy,
forehead
was it?
and itchy.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Wouldn't think that that would be because of protein though, right?
it's
I mean,
protein
if you
deficiency.
think
It was
about it,
protein
that
deficiency.
wouldn't be in your mind as to what could be
No, it wasn't, because that was
that's why it took you so
bypass our
long,
mind.
right?
I,
Because
I, I
that's
don't know.
listening to the show here, and you're thinking that you have an issue, and it's sounding you're thinking, what could it be? Minda, one of the things I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because you
Sure.
have an amazing offer that you're going to make on the show, which is for very little, less than $100. You can come in and get a take a 4-part class with you.
Yes, just the basics on introducing what program is all about, what energy is, what the meridians are, and what the basic nutrients are, and a basic technique to desensitize oneself or somebody else that they know and love of their allergies, of their reactions. So today is my daughter's birthday. The girl
Oh,
that committed suicide. That's why when you asked me what my special would be,
right. I
said
didn't
I would,
realize it was
because
today.
you couldn't, I know you were taken aback by the price.
Yes, because I said that is an unreal price
Yes,
for the it's 90 minutes for Saturdays starting February 19th.
yes,
And I
exactly.
said to you, how can you let it go at that price? Because this course is priceless.
Oh, it is, because it is priceless to me, and I spent thousands and thousands of dollars, going to study this further with so many other practitioners, mentors, and coaches. But like I said, today is my daughter's
Oh my
birthday.
goodness, I had no idea. It didn't really sink in, you know what I'm saying, when we were talking about the
Uh-huh.
special. I didn't realize
And my
today
program and my
was the
program
birthday.
actually, I don't keep money. The program is going to be for a foundation, and this is my legacy to my daughter, to fund that foundation. And the foundation is Fairies to Friend, and this is helping poor people in poor countries uh, take get an education, mostly a vocational, fund them for a vocational course that they, or passion that they want to pursue if they are not qualified to go to college.
I'm just getting tingles going through me right now. That is such a beautiful foundation that you are starting up. I think it's in the works right now,
Yes,
almost in
yes,
place now.
yes. Matter of
It's a
fact, I work.
beautiful, beautiful legacy to leave.
Yes, it's a legacy, because my daughter was born with a lot of allergies, and I did everything. And I did by medical advice, which really, I think the use of the drugs for about 19 years really put her into that mental state to commit suicide.
And it's so sad because, we lose a lot of people, especially kids now. And I was appalled to hear how many kids are committing suicide,
Oh, yes.
teenagers, even younger. And it's because of all these reasons we had no idea were there.
Yes, and we have to touch their emotions. We have to talk with them.
Yeah. And so I know it's a little bit aside, but I've started to realize how prevalent child suicides were in this other program that I am supporting, which is the bank methodology. And it's about understanding that everybody has personalities, and the codes, the order of the 4 codes determines how you show up. And it's not anything to do with, it's not personal. It's all about how you're wired. And when we're misunderstood, then it causes, especially with kids and parents, or teachers and kids, it can cause this misinterpretation of what's actually showing up, and cause, as you said, suicide as well. Because people are misunderstood, they don't feel worthy, they don't feel understood, and then they go that route because they don't feel like they have anybody to talk to. And that's a sad part.
Yeah, that's one thing that with your program, I think you should start touching the school system, the library system, where you
Yes.
where you can present it to the public, and to especially school system, so that teachers participate in it too, and they can pass on the participation to their students.
Well, they just started a program to make kids matter. There's a bigger movement right now, which is to make people matter, but they just started the Make Kids Matter movement just last December, I believe, in Laguna, in a private school. And it's moving out because everybody's realizing, wait a second, even the teachers, maybe we don't need to be so disciplinarians. We need to listen. We need to understand that all the kids are wired differently. We need to treat all of them according to how they're wired, not just how we show up. Because a lot of teachers are very rigid, very, this is a way and it's this way or the highway, because that's how they're structured, right? Very methodological. My brain is, and it's all about rules. Whereas some kids, like I am an action, I don't like rules. I break the rules when it doesn't make sense. And it's all about fast. And there's other people who they just like the hugs, like yourself, right?
Yeah, peer pressure
Yeah.
makes a difference. So you have to touch that generation.
But it also affects us when we have this allergic reaction too. The allergy could be to people and the
Oh
attitude of
yes.
people.
Oh yes. Oh
It's
yes.
amazing how these can, because it's all energy, right? So the
Uh-huh.
sparkle, when I do sparkle, it goes from more, not such a diagnostic way, because what I have is a gift, but it drills down to the root cause.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with me is it's all about what works, what resonates with the people out there who are listening. See what makes sense to you, what feels right to you in your heart, because you can sense it. We're all intuitive. And then you go where your heart takes you, where you feel it's the right decision, the right path for you. And that is a beauty, because there's a power of the and, I like to say, right? So you can do this and you can do that, and you can be lean and mean, you can be lean and big thinking. You can do both things as long as they don't negatively impact each other. Right? And with what you do, there's no side effects, right? Because
Yeah,
it's energy.
that's one thing that should really be pushed through into the school system, because those kids, like I'm starting a chapter of SAVE in Las Vegas, which is a suicide prevention program.
Oh, really? If I can help, let me know.
And so I'm always looking for some ways to make this, uh, you know, reach out kids and I start trying to tone my talking with them into phrases that they could easily understand.
I think the bank methodology would be great for you, because you have the 4 cards, you give it to the kids, they shuffle it, they love it. You know how they're rolling, right? And then you can actually use the words that speak to them. And it's a beautiful system. and then they can use it with the people they're interacting with, and the teachers can understand it, the counselors, the therapists. It's
Yeah.
something I think that is going to get out in the world once the launch is through, because it is in pre-launch right now. And
That's good to know.
it's we need to be better understood. If we could understand each other better, we could communicate more clearly, and we could share what it is we have to offer everybody and help people, you know?
Yes, it is. But, just like when I started in the allergy elimination
Mhm.
technique, I was very skeptic. And so this is what, this
Yes.
this is really what one has to get through, is to get through that desperation the people want. I was so desperate, I was going to try anything.
So this show is about where you're told you can't, or you haven't been able to find a solution, because I'm bringing people on here who have other solutions that may not be mainstream but are very credible,
Uh-huh.
you know?
And that's what happens, it's not just one modality actually, because the system that I'm using, the technique I use, is a compilation of acupuncture, traditional medicine, chiropractic,
Hmm. And then you
kinesiology,
do muscle
acupuncture,
testing, the kinesiology even,
Uh-huh.
right?
And
And
it's
I
just
use
a way.
kinesiology myself.
Yes, yes, and that's one thing I never believed in before until I started practicing it.
Isn't that the truth? Because when I was in the corporate world and my family were into the healing by touch, therapeutic touch, and
Uh-huh.
Reiki and all that, I was going, leave me alone, I go somewhere else. until I had my own need for a healing experience, and I went
Uh-huh.
searching and found healing modalities, which I learned and I became a practitioner in. And through that process, I found out I have this gift that I call sparkle, which actually helps the brain.
Uh-huh.
When I was saying about the suicide prevention that you're going with the SAVE program, I was really being sincere, saying, if you need help, let me know, because I can work from a distance and people
Uh-huh.
get shifts and get clarity, and they're able to release things, and they don't even know what they release, but they're able to then come back to normal. Maybe not the first time, but some people get it there in the first hour. It's amazing. It amazes me every time, and I'm going, my gosh, why am I so blessed?
Uh-huh.
And I want to get the message, your message out. I want to get my message out to let people know there's hope. It
Okay.
doesn't necessarily have to cost a lot of money. Like, you're doing this for $49 for 4 sessions,
Oh
for
yeah, and they
for
can.
four classes. And I do pro
That's
bono a lot, but I need to still charge because this is how I make my dollars to help other people, right?
Uh-huh.
But there are solutions out there, and we have caring people who are providing the help.
Yes, you are so right that there are solutions out there. And one of them is just like drawing the right card. Okay.
It is, right?
Because I have tried everything actually, and nothing worked for me. I do not know why they didn't work for me. But the first treatment I had when I first went to see this doctor that did it, my face was red, swollen. And the next day I woke up and it was clear.
That is amazing.
That's when
When you
I,
told me that, I couldn't believe it, because you said you had it for years, like whole
yes,
years and years and years, where you wouldn't go outside because your face was so
yes, yes,
so
I was in depression for 5 years, and that was my face
wow.
for 5 years.
And so there you were thinking you had no solution, and there you were, you had a solution like
And
that.
I didn't know anything about it.
So open mind,
Yes,
open heart, and willingness to do something different, right?
yes,
Because what
yes,
you did, what people recommended, didn't work. And we're not saying don't listen to what is out there and don't try that, but if it's not working, look, keep on looking.
yeah, That's what I tell my clients. And I told them, I said, I'll work with you, but don't do any other thing because I don't, we're working with energy. I don't want anything to interfere with that. But after the first treatment they get from me, they didn't want to work with anybody else.
Yes.
So for 20 years, I had clients and they sometimes they had to wait about 8 to 10 weeks to get an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
That's how busy it was. So
Wow.
there are people that are affected by things that they don't know why. And I want to train people to be able to do what I do so they can help other people too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my legacy to my daughter.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
So, and I really thank you for inviting me though, because that gets the word out. If I can help, like, say, a mother with 2 kids, that is gratification enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the same here with me, right? If I can help someone who's gone through trauma and they're grieving, they can't get out of it, they can't get through the trauma, they cannot think, they're not themselves and they don't know. They've seen psychiatrists, psychologists, they've done other things. They're not getting through. They don't know what to do. Their thoughts are in their heads. They can't shut it down. I help people like that
That's
very, very
good.
powerfully.
And the thing is, we have to get our word out there to
Yeah,
people.
and it doesn't have to be in person. Most of my clients, you know it, where we have worked on you distance and it works amongst people. It doesn't have to be one on one. It can be as a classroom. I could work with your whole, if you had a group of people in that SAVE program together, I could work with them pro bono, right, to start. And then they could see.
I would I did that a lot, and that's one thing I discourage nowadays for practitioners like us, because if we don't charge anything, people don't know the value.
That's true. I agree with you, right?
So just a little bit amount of money to give to charity.
Yes, but what
That
I'm saying is if to make what I said to start is because once they start, they can see where the money can be put in the programs that the money they have available to be using in for their community, right? For their patients or their clientele, whichever that works with, and they can see from that one session that it does work, and from there they can fund from do a lay out a contract or something to support it.
hmm So I just want people to learn how to do that, especially parents for their children,
Yeah.
because it's very difficult. They don't really, the doctors really just go by what they are fed in school.
Yes.
Being in that medical community, I know.
And you know what? The thing with it is a lot of times it's a mental. You can will yourself to get better or you can will yourself to die. Our mentor said that, right? And I know it to be true.
But you can't feed that to the children. You can't feed that to the children, so you have to feed it to the mother
Yeah,
to
you
pass
have to
it to
feed
the
it to the
children.
parents, but even
Uh-huh.
the parents don't get it, right? Because you have to be aware enough to be able to really have that sink in because so many people rely on the doctor's diagnosis and when they get it's going to be this long and that's where their brain is.
Yes.
Some people just lock into that and that's their journey because they build the white coat has an amazing power. I didn't realize how strong that was until I experienced it myself,
Yes.
and it
And
was frightening.
and one thing though, in this at these times right now, chemical sensitivity is a big problem. And because every day they're putting out hundreds of chemicals out in the air.
Hmm.
Right now, when I went to UCLA for a skin disorder assessment, I was diagnosed with, ta-da, all chemicals, all the quaternums, all words that I cannot even
Pronounce.
pronounce to this day. Yeah, they're just about so long.
Right.
And and they gave me a list of things to avoid, which is like 2004 items.
Wow.
So, where do I live? In a bubble.
Mm.
And so I got that list and took it to my mentor, and she treated me for them. And I can eat anything. I can go to the casinos where it's always full of smoke,
Hmm. Hmm.
or go to the bathroom where it
All the
smells
scents.
clean,
Yeah.
all the chemicals in
Yeah. And
there.
the perfumes or whatever
I
scenting.
used I used to get sick whenever I do that. That's why I avoided going out. But
But
now
there are ways we can energetically desensitize people to those,
oh yeah, oh
right?
yeah,
And I do that
yeah,
myself, you
yeah.
know?
I teach that to other people, and that's what I want to really get out is not the individual treatments. I'm
Mhm.
done with that. 20
Yeah.
years, I'm done with that.
Yeah, no, we need to do it
Teach
bigger
people
class.
to do it to teach people to teach other people to do groups.
Yeah, we need to do it in groups because that's where you get to the snowball effect, where there's you and I and we have this message, we have these solutions for people, the way of thinking. I coach as well, so it's not just when I sparkle people, there's also the cognitive side, which is how do you get your mind in gear to get yourself being CEO of yourself so you can then start to engage that healer within and then be able to move forward and make yourself healthier, feel better, be happier day to day because you now are becoming more and more self-aware. You realize what it is you're doing with how you're speaking to yourself, how you're showing up, what you're taking in, what you're not paying attention to. And then all of a sudden, you're a different person.
Yeah, well, that's one nice thing about this movement that they have right now about self-awareness,
Hmm.
and people are more aware of what they eat, and also being allergic to a lot of things. They know most of them still avoid things, but you don't have to avoid them. Like most of the people who came to me were allergic to shrimps and seafood. And once I just treated them like, say, treat their bodies for vitamin D, believe it or not, or house mites, they overcame their sensitivity or intolerance to seafood.
Hmm. Well, the thing too is, and this is also if you study homeopathy, I don't know if you do,
Oh, yeah.
right? If it's about the vital force, it's about the energy, and if your energy is low, you will be catch everything. You'll get sick.
Okay. I'd like to teach before we get off here.
Okay, sure.
Basic homeopathy that you can do for yourself.
Hmm.
And I taught this to a lot of the parents that came to me with their kids. If you start feeling something like a scratchy throat,
Yes, yes.
take three empty glasses. And the first glass, you spit everything else you could, for
Hmm.
as much as you can. Then you fill it with water,
Hmm.
about 4 ounces of it. Fill it with water, stir it,
Hmm.
take a spoonful of that, put it on the second glass,
Okay.
and then fill that glass with water and
Hmm.
stir it again. I
Okay.
always save my first glass.
Okay.
And after you stir it several times, you take a spoonful of that, put it in the
Mhm.
third glass,
Okay.
throw the second glass away and wash it so you reuse it again.
Right.
And you keep doing that until you come to the 10th
Oh, so you're
glass.
potentializing it.
Yes, your
Okay.
potential.
Yeah, you're
And
potentializing
so
it. So,
and once it's potentized,
right.
I don't know, 10x. Okay, I'll say
10x, yeah.
10x. You drink the 10th glass,
Okay.
and believe it or not, every report I got from the parents say that their kids never got sick after that, because
Oh,
in the spit that you put in the first
yeah,
glass
yeah, yeah.
are all the parasites, viruses, and
Right.
bacteria that was in your system, was
Okay, and
creating.
then you're potentializing it. That
Uh-huh.
is brilliant, actually. Huh, thank
So
you for that.
yeah,
Because you
and
have
I
to also
think,
make sure you're stirring it very hard. Like you don't
oh
want to
yeah,
just stir it
I do
once.
it 100
Yeah,
times.
you want to be stirring that water very, very hard because the mother, the mother substance is at first bit of spit, right? And then in
Uh-huh.
between is junk, and the last one is really the one that's
It's very clean.
powerfully charged with
Uh-huh.
energy. So that's an energetic remedy as well, because
Right.
homeopathic is really useful because it is giving your body the signals energetically to heal itself.
Yeah,
And there's
it's
no
like
side effects. There's no side.
like pures like.
Yeah. And I don't know if people, this is just as an aside, the Queen of England and the royal family only used homeopathic MDs.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret Blackie, who wrote The Patient, Not the Cure, which is a classic book, and I have it on my bookshelf because I'm a self-study in homeopathy. And Margaret Blackie was a physician to the Queen. And that's a beautiful book if you want to learn about homeopathy. But that's a patient, not the cure. And homeopathic has no side effects unless you start mixing them all together. And then you're going to have the same thing you do when you mix all sorts of drugs together, right? You don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
is reacting with what.
I
But I'm
tell
a
people I take
single,
arsenic.
arsenicum is beautiful. It's a greatest thing for food poisoning or
Uh-huh.
for um, sinus issues that won't stop, like the clear sinus issues and the just that, that feeling of
Lung
malaise.
issues.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But it's a greatest thing for food poisoning.
Yeah. So that's my first aid kit
That's my
whenever I
first aid
travel.
kit too. Arsenicum, arnica, apis mellifica,
Yeah,
belladonna.
belladonna,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, love it. Ruta, rustox,
So
symphytum.
so there really are many things that are available to people. The only thing is they have to open their mind and
Yes,
accept.
because there are homeopathics that will help with allergies too, like apis
Oh
mellifica.
yes. Oh
Great
yes.
for swelling.
And even go into essential oils.
Oh
There's
yeah.
three combinations of essential oils. You rub it on yourself every day and you'll overcome allergy. There's
Hmm.
a lot of things, but
There's even
I
the
don't
Bach
know
flora
any of those
remedies.
things.
Yeah, the Bach
So,
flora
but
remedies as well.
yeah, the fastest I found was tapping on me to get rid of my allergies. 24 hours later, I'm not allergic to it
Was that the
anymore.
EFT, emotional
No, no,
no,
that's a different one.
that's a different
EFT,
one.
it didn't quite work for me, Lynn. Put it
Okay.
that way.
Yeah.
I took up EFT several times, and I hosted a lot of EFT seminars in my clinic, and
Yes.
for some reason
It
that didn't
didn't.
work for me. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I always tell my clients. Some will work. Find
And some,
something that
yeah,
works for you.
everybody's different. So that's a thing.
Mhm.
Some things will work beautiful for some people and others won't. So you just see
Yeah,
what resonates. And that's why I have different people here because I might resonate with you but we may not. And then but
uh-huh.
you may beautifully resonate with someone who sees you on the
Yeah,
show. And
yeah,
and it's all good because we're
yeah.
all here to help everyone feel better.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say is find what is right for you, what
Mhm.
works for you, and what you will embrace, because then that sets your mindset to embracing that modality,
Mhm.
you know. So um, there's so many things that I learned just doing this for over 20 years in my wellness clinic. And I think, I went to every seminar workshop that had to do with allergy elimination. So my mind was really into it, and I don't know. I think it was my intention to heal the people too that help, And that's one thing I
Yes.
like
But
to convey
intention
to
is very
people.
powerful.
Intention.
Intention is very powerful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember too, similar, I don't think it's exactly what you do, but my daughter had, when she was a baby, she had this, she used to eat a lot of candy. She had this crusting going around her her ear and around her elbow and around her eyes, and it was all crusty. And then the doctors were saying to put steroids, and I said, no way. There's no way you're going to put steroids close to my baby's eyes, right? And that's what they were recommending, the medical doctors. And I said, no, not doing it. And then I went to a chiropractor, big guy, I think he would be a Nigerian or something, big fellow, Randolph Swanston. And he looked at her, and he says he did tests and he had vials of different things, all different allergens. And he tested her for them. And then finally he went, it was the sugar. So he looked at her, he says, you're eating too much, can't you like? And she's going, her eyes are wide open. And she's going, and he says, okay, so you need to stop eating so much. And she's just, because he's big, right? And she's going, and she stopped. We put a limit on her candy and then it cleared up. It was amazing.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. And homeopathic is like that too. I have stories about homeopathic remedies because I did that with my kids when they were sick.
It was just too bad for me because it was too late for,
Yeah,
I come from a family full of medical practitioners,
right.
doctors and nurses, and they say is, almost like it's God's word.
Yeah, well, too bad I wasn't around doing sparkle because I think my sparkle could have helped you. But I never did do that in my younger years. It was only when I had a ski accident that I went looking and I had these thoughts and I needed to get control of my thoughts because I was under a lot of stress, although I didn't call it stress. I just knew I just didn't know what to do with all these thoughts. And so, funnily enough, the sparkle helps that. People get to a Zen state. And I think I have a video of you talking about that.
That's good because, sometimes it reaches a person, but they don't realize it then. In the
Yeah,
long run, then they forget to give credit to what happened. I know a lot of my clients are like that too.
yeah.
So
Because I have a video of you where you said, finally you knew how to look at the thoughts and manage it and get to what you needed. But how would you like to do a sparkle session now?
I would love that. I would embrace that.
So the sparkle, what I do is I ask you what you'd like the intention to be for this session. And anybody who logs in later, they can have their own intention or know what that is if you want to share it. And you can rewatch it because that energy comes through even though it's in a video.
That's good to know.
There's a powerful one on episode 9 with Pam Heath because I went extra deep and extra long with her. So, and that was a healing one. So, yeah.
She needs that.
What's your intention? Do you want to share it?
Oh, yes, to be able to get my word out to the world, leave it as my legacy, so more people will know how to manage certain health issues in their lives, and also make my foundation grow.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so let's just get comfortable. And I'm just gonna, you know the drill, right? So connect to source. And you can close your eyes if you want and just see this beautiful light coming down from the heavens, shimmering, bluey, silvery, gold sparkles maybe. And it's connecting to your crown chakra. And then just allow that energy to come through down through your spinal cord, spread out wherever it needs to go in your body, to all the nooks and crannies, to all the cells, wherever it needs to go to displace anything that's negative, that's not serving you, to just beautify, nourish, recalibrate, restructure, to energize your whole being. And then what I'd like you to do is breathe in deeply all the goodness, all the blessings coming through to you right now. And then as you exhale, exhale everything and anything that's not serving you. You don't have to know what it is. You just have to be willing to just say, let it go, whatever that is, let it go. And just allow it to leave. And it can leave through the window or the doors in your home or through the cord, the beautiful silvery or gold cord that goes from the bottom of your feet all the way down to the center of the earth where your own very special crystal is there, and where that energy gets beautifully grounded, healing energy of Mother Earth, nurturing, grounding energy, cleansed and purified and injected with beautiful Mother Earth wisdom, healing wisdom, all the wisdom of the ages that you need that comes from grounding Mother Earth energy. And then as it's all cleansed and purified and beautified, just allow that energy to come back up through the other cord. Join this beautiful, beautiful cosmic energy from the heavens that is already circulating in and around, all through you, all around you. Just allow that energy, earth and heavens, circulating everywhere that it needs to go. Just nourishing, calming, bringing peace and joy and that sense of energy and vitality and knowingness, where you're connecting with who you are, and just allow that energy to come through, in, around, all about you, and just place anything, all the doubts, all the fears, anything to do with not being able to achieve your legacy, allow all those to go through the window and see the little birdies taking it away. Just allow all that beautiful intention of your wishes and your dreams for your legacy and for your program and for your special organization and for your special save group that you're starting out with. Just allow all of that to come together and disperse anything that is not supportive or blocking or limiting the progress or hindering the progress, and let out all of those to leave right now. Through the window, through the door. Breathe in all the goodness, welcome in all the love, all the heart, the blessings. Let go anything that's negative, any negative thoughts, feelings, emotions from now, the near, recent, present tense, or way back. Allow all of those to leave, because you don't need those memories and those emotions that are negative. You just need to remember so that you are protected. So forgive. You don't have to forget. Just forgive yourself, forgive others. Forgiving yourself is the most difficult, but you can do it right now, right here, because that will help you to move your legacy forward, your organization forward, and have your dreams come true faster and more beautifully synchronized with beautiful opportunities that come to pass. So just allow, just feel that energy and know that energy is available to you whenever you need it. Then I'm just aligning and centering your whole energy system right now. Feel that? And then I'll just tune your root chakra up a little. So if you feel a pulsing by your navel, your root chakra, that's your power center, then that's what that is.
Thank you.
Okay, what do you notice now?
I'm not going to lie. Should I notice something?
Well, you may notice but I forgot to ask you to check with your body and see if you've had any tight areas in your back or
Yeah,
in your body anywhere. Is
no,
it
I don't. I don't.
okay? That's good. That the things that people notice, and sometimes it's not noticeable in a physical
Right.
sense.
It's energy is very subtle.
Yeah.
That's one thing else people should know.
Especially when you're already yourself so balanced because of the work you and I do similar work, right?
Mhm.
So when you're already high energy, oscillating at a high frequency, then you're not like the typical person necessarily. You're already looser and not, so heavy. But what you may notice over the next few days or hours or weeks is that things start to happen. Or
That's for sure because it goes through the meridians and
right,
through
and
the chakras.
what you may notice is things that used to bother you may not bother you anymore.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. So I worked on someone years ago, and she had back pain because she had got into a kind of a tiff with a person on the highway, and she gave the person the finger, and he dropped behind her and rammed her with his truck from behind in her little car. She got whiplash. So I worked on her back, and then I phoned her up and I said, "How are you doing?" And she said, "Not well, the back wasn't as good as it was the night I worked on her because of the work she did. It's a lot of labor." But she says, "Oh, but something changed." And I said, "What was that?" And she says, "Well, I was driving with my daughter the other day, her 14-year-old, and all of a sudden her daughter says, 'Mom, you've changed.'" And I said, "Okay." So she says, "Huh? What? What do you mean?" And the daughter says, "Mom, you're not getting road rage anymore." So somehow her whole demeanor on whatever it was that used to trigger her to have that rage when she was driving, and it wasn't something that apparently that was just that one incident with the truck guy. It was something that was a regular thing. And with that one sparkle session I gifted her, she no longer had that problem. So it's sometimes not even what you notice, it's sometimes somebody else notices something in you. It could even be that your face looks younger. And
No, I
funny
see
enough,
that.
yeah, that happens. I've had it where actually a few times where everybody around could see the face had changed, but the person with the face didn't see it. But
You
everybody
know,
else saw
yeah,
it.
everybody notices somebody who's brighter, whose face is brighter.
Well, it wasn't even that. Sometimes it's fewer wrinkles too. So because all the things we hold in our bodies, all the despair or the sadness or the grief or whatever it is, they literally do weigh you down.
Uh-huh.
And then when you're able to actually release it, it's it's beautiful because you can see it, if not in the wrinkles, because it's not that you didn't get the facelift version. What happens is that you can see it definitely in the face, how the face sits, right? And how the eyes look. Because all of a sudden the eyes brighten up. Because the
Sparkling.
eyes are the mirror to the soul,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually pretty cool, it's really nice. So I could take a snapshot of you at the beginning of the call
You should, and then
and
at the
then
end of
and then
this
compare
call,
it to now and then see if there's any difference.
yeah, do it at the beginning and then the end of this
Yeah, and I'll
session.
send you a picture of it. And then the other part of coming on the show is that I ask my guests to come on again later on. So who knows? Whenever you feel you want to come on and then report back, in terms of your intention, what did you notice? did things start to happen? Just see what you notice physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Look at the flexibility, resilience, all those things, because it's all about how we show up. And with Sparkle, it's that the thing that happens is a lightness. Like a lot of times, I don't know about if you're thinking about a lot of things because you're going on a call soon, right? So were you thinking about things you hadn't done or were you needed to do before you came on the call today?
No, actually, I went to sleep.
Honesty.
I, yeah, it took me until about 3 o'clock trying to figure out how to send stuff to you. And I said, oh, I needed to look refreshed. So I told my husband, wake me up in 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, I see. So I'm gonna say good night for now. Thank you so much for
Well,
coming
thank
on.
you. And let's get some people learn more about what we do and what it can do for their lives. Thank you for
Yes, yes. I may be offering some things too, coming to your neck of the woods in Las Vegas, end of this month. The thing with it is that, if you take control of your own health, there's beautiful things that can happen. When you actually make a decision that you have something to say about your body's health because you have the parasympathetic nervous system. And your thoughts and your heart, you can govern that. You can send energy to your organs, you can help them to heal with your own energy. And the medical community doesn't talk about that very much, but I do, right?
yes.
Because that's what I know is possible. You can send love across from here to where you are, Edmonton to Las Vegas. I can send you love and you can feel it right now, right?
Thank you. I do a lot of distant healing myself.
Okay, and in that same context, we can send love from our hearts to our organs all around
Mhm.
and to people we love, and that's the beauty of the heart. The heart is a powerful organ.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Michelle. And
You're welcome. And
we'll,
so people on the show, you can go to https colon // the sparkle experience show.com/guests. You will find Minda's information as well as you can click on the button to order your spot in her class and we'll get to see you again. And it would be beautiful.
yeah.
So have
Okay.
yourself a lovely evening. And with that, I am going to say good night and keep well.
Okay. And I'll
Okay.
see you here in Las Vegas.
Yes.